Welcome back to the channel. Today, we'll be discussing some very simple things that you could be doing to help you dramatically improve your KD ratio. Before we get into that, let me remind you that we have recently started a Discord server. We're kicking things off with a promotional giveaway. Anyone who subscribes to the channel and joins the Discord will have an opportunity to compete with me in a cash tournament at no charge to you. So be sure to click the Discord link in the description below. We also created a brand new Twitter, so give that a follow as well. Now let's get into the video. The first and maybe most important step to improve your KD is simply getting into more gunfights. Now this might not sound like much, but in order to get more comfortable doing the things that we talk about next, it's necessary to be trying to get in as many gunfights as you possibly can. Are you gonna die some at first if this usually isn't your playstyle? Sure. But as time goes on, you'll be able to move better and better predict what your enemies will do. And I promise you, you'll see a big uptick in the number of kills you start getting. Next, we want to get more comfortable using the most powerful weapons in the game. This goes for both the floor loot and the loadout guns. If 150 people jump out of the plane, all 150 people should be looking for an FFAR. That gun is completely overpowering right now up close, and if you don't have one and run into somebody that does, it's likely a quick trip to the gulag. I know, it only has 25 rounds in it off of the floor loot, and it's a bit bouncy at range. Those 25 bullets are plenty enough to kill 2 or 3 people. Just find you another AR or a LMG to cover you at distance until you can get your loadout. Now with the loadouts, the fastest killing ARs tend to have the most recoil, so that sometimes scares people away from using them. Learn to manage that recoil though, so you give yourself the highest probability of winning every gunfight. I have other videos covering the best loadouts weapons to use, so I don't want to get into them here, but if you haven't seen those videos, you should check them out. Another key area that is often underused but can lead to a bunch more kills is using grenades and stuns. Putting damage on your enemy before you fire a bullet is a simple way to win fights more easily. Just taking one plate off significantly lowers the number of bullets you need to down someone. So if you're fully plated and your enemy isn't, you're gonna walk away from that fight with a kill more often than not. Now I think this is so important that I've made an entire video covering just this topic alone. Be sure to check it out if you haven't already. Whether you're playing duos, trios, or squads, when someone knocks an enemy player, that should trigger an immediate push from your entire squad. How many times have you seen you and your team just trade downs with another team? And that process just continues over and over. All you're doing is blowing through plates and inviting yourself to get third party. When you down someone, immediately push and try to catch the other team scrambling. You'll usually give yourself the numbers advantage, so use that to quickly swoop in and pick up more kills. That brings us to third partying. If you notice 2 teams fighting, take that opportunity to bust in and rack up some kills. They are usually going to be tunnel visioned on each other, which should allow you to get good positioning on both teams and easily take them out before they even realize that you're there. Not to mention, both teams fighting will be damaging each other, which will lead to you being able to jump right in and take full advantage of that. Change your mindset from saying, they're fighting over there, let's go around them, to saying, hey, they fighting right there, let's go kill those bastards. And you'll end up with a lot more kills. Now that brings us to maybe 2 of the most broken things in the game, dead silence and stopping power. Both of these things are completely overpowering, and you should use them to your advantage. Enemies depend on the sound of footsteps more than anything else. They'll hear you coming and pre-aim the area you're running into. Taking away that sound usually leads to you catching people totally off guard. Stopping power is a no-brainer. Who doesn't want to kill someone in less shots than they would normally take? Just be cautious about which weapon you use stopping power in, as it can give your gun a lot more recoil. I generally put it in my short range weapon so that recoil control doesn't become a problem. Another big area that players can learn to improve on is positioning. Just because you see a red dot doesn't mean that running full speed ahead at it is your best option. Learn to take advantage of knowing where the enemy is by moving yourself to an area that has cover, has high ground over them, or gives you a clearer line of sight. If you just throw yourself into their field of view, then it becomes 50-50 if you'll win the fight. But if you put yourself in a good position, you can greatly increase your odds. Now it doesn't always work this way. Sometimes your enemy will see you first, and when that happens, we can still flip the odds in our favor. Most players will see you, stand still, ADS, and then shoot. If you take bullets and get behind cover, they'll usually remain aimed down sight on that one area, waiting for you to peek again. If you can reposition yourself and pop up on them from a different angle, usually they'll never see you until it's too late. And we have just turned a gunfight into one we should have lost into another kill. Finally, learn to communicate better with your team. Constantly telling each other where enemies are, as well as dropping pings, can give you a massive advantage if the other team isn't communicating as well. Even if you get downed, help your teammates find the enemies. We raise our KD by getting more kills, sure, but we also can help it by not dying. If you can help your teammate finish off an enemy, then they might be able to revive you, saving you from one more death. Now, if you haven't paid attention to the gameplay in this video, be sure to go back and watch it. Watch how many times I'm using dead silence to get a kill, or I'm using stuns or grenades. Watch how many times I'm repositioning, so that you know that what I'm telling you is going to work. That's going to do it for today's video. If you liked the video or learned something new, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Don't forget to click the description below to join the Discord and follow us on Twitter. You don't want to miss out on the promotional opportunities we have coming up. And as always, thanks for watching. Hold that Tiger Gaming.